It was supposed to be the day my marriage ended. The divorce papers were already folded inside a brown envelope on the passenger seat of my truck. My wedding ring felt heavier than it ever had before, and I had spent the entire drive convincing myself that 15 years of love had quietly died without either of us noticing. But just minutes before I walked into my lawyer's office, I stopped at my mother-in-law's house to return an old family photo album, and from the open kitchen window, I accidentally overheard the words that shattered everything I thought I knew. My wife wasn't planning to betray me. She wasn't hiding another man. She wasn't tired of me. She was preparing to lose me forever. Because she believed she was the one destroying my life. If you believe in kindness, forgiveness, hope, and second chances, please take a moment to like this video, leave a thoughtful comment, share it with someone who needs encouragement today, and subscribe to our channel to become part of our community. My name is Garrett Holloway, and for months I had convinced myself that my wife, Claire, had stopped loving me. Love rarely disappears all at once. It fades through unanswered questions, quiet dinners, distracted smiles, forgotten anniversaries, and long afternoons where two people occupy the same room but somehow live on different planets. That was what had happened to us, or at least that was what I believed. Claire had once been the brightest part of every morning. She laughed loudly, hugged tightly, and somehow found beauty in ordinary things. She could make grocery shopping feel like a date and folding laundry feel like teamwork. Somewhere along the way, that woman seemed to disappear. She became exhausted. Distant. Lost inside thoughts she never shared. I blamed myself at first. Maybe I worked too much at my architecture firm. Maybe I wasn't romantic enough anymore. Maybe middle age had quietly stolen the excitement from both of us. So I tried harder. I planned weekend picnics. I bought flowers. I left handwritten notes in her purse. She smiled politely, she thanked me, but her eyes never reached mine. Eventually, doubt became suspicion. She guarded her phone. She often visited her mother during the afternoons. She cried alone in the laundry room when she thought I was outside. Whenever I asked what was wrong, she simply said everything was fine. Nothing hurts more than someone insisting everything is fine when every piece of your heart knows it isn't. Friends told me people change, coworkers joke that every marriage has an expiration date, even my lawyer quietly nodded when I described our situation. It happens. Those two words convinced me that maybe giving up was simply what adults eventually did. That Tuesday morning, under bright blue skies and warm sunlight, I signed most of the preliminary paperwork. Only one signature remained before everything became official. Before meeting the lawyer again that afternoon, I remembered Claire had asked weeks earlier if I could return an old photo album to her mother whenever I had time. It seemed almost ironic. I was returning memories just before ending the future they represented. I parked outside Eleanor's small white cottage. The front door was slightly open. As I approached, I heard voices drifting through the kitchen window. I wasn't trying to eavesdrop. In fact, I was about to knock, then I heard my own name. I froze. Claire's voice trembled. She told her mother she couldn't let Garrett spend the rest of his life chained to someone whose body was quietly failing. Every muscle in my body locked. Failing? Her mother begged her to tell me the truth. Claire quietly admitted she couldn't bear watching me sacrifice everything for her after what the doctors had discovered 3 months earlier. My heart stopped. Doctors? 3 months, she said. She had hidden every appointment, every medical report, every prescription because she wanted me to believe she had simply fallen out of love. She believed I would eventually divorce her instead of spending years watching her become someone who needed constant care. She wanted me to be angry, she wanted me to move on, she wanted me to hate her, because hatred, she whispered through tears, would hurt less than pity. I nearly dropped the photo album, the envelope containing the divorce papers suddenly felt like a stone crushing my chest. I walked away before either of them noticed me, not because I was angry, because I couldn't breathe. For the next hour I sat inside my truck parked beneath an old maple tree, staring at those divorce papers. Every lonely dinner suddenly looked different, every distant smile, every cancelled vacation, every excuse, every quiet afternoon. She hadn't been abandoning me, she had been trying to protect me. She had carried unimaginable fear. Completely alone. I drove straight to my lawyer's office. Without saying a word, I tore every signed page into tiny pieces. The lawyer looked surprised. I simply smiled through tears and said I had almost made the biggest mistake of my life. Then I drove home, the afternoon sun poured through our living room windows. Claire was watering the plants. She looked startled to see me home so early. Her tired smile appeared for only a second before disappearing again. For the first time in months, I didn't ask whether everything was okay. Instead, I wrapped my arms around her. She stiffened, then slowly relaxed. She whispered that I didn't have to pretend anymore. That sentence broke me. Imagine believing the person you love is only hugging you out of obligation. That I gently took her hands. That I told her I had accidentally overheard everything. The color drained from her face. She began apologizing before I even spoke. She apologized for lying, for hiding appointments, for pushing me away, for making me think our marriage had failed. She admitted the doctors suspected a rare neurological disease that might slowly steal her independence over the coming years. The diagnosis wasn't fully confirmed yet, but the possibility terrified her. She had watched her own father suffer through a similar illness. She remembered how exhausted her mother became. She refused to let that become my future. She believed love sometimes meant letting someone go before they drowned beside you, but she had forgotten something important. Marriage isn't a promise to stay only while life is easy. That it's choosing each other even when tomorrow becomes frightening. That I wasn't angry she had hidden the truth. That I was heartbroken she believed she had to face it alone. That afternoon we sat on the living room floor surrounded by unopened mail, family photographs, and years of shared memories. For the first time in months we cried together instead of separately. The following weeks became the beginning of a completely different marriage, not because life became easier, because honesty returned. That we attended every medical appointment together. Sometimes the news felt hopeful, sometimes it felt terrifying. Eventually specialists discovered the original diagnosis had been incomplete. Claire did have a serious autoimmune neurological condition, but unlike the disease she feared, it responded well to treatment if caught early. The months of uncertainty had nearly destroyed our marriage. The truth saved it. Treatment wasn't easy. There were exhausting therapy sessions, medication adjustments, afternoons where she felt defeated, days when I secretly cried during the drive home before walking inside with a smile. Days when she apologized simply because she needed help opening a jar. That I reminded her every single time that love isn't measured by how little someone needs you. It's measured by how willingly you stand beside them. Slowly, life returned, not the old life. A better one. That we learned to celebrate ordinary afternoons, coffee on the porch, walks through the neighborhood, cooking together even when recipes failed, laughing over burned pancakes, calling friends we'd unintentionally pushed away, visiting Eleanor every Sunday. One afternoon, almost a year later, Claire found the empty brown envelope that had once held our divorce papers tucked inside my desk drawer. I had kept it, not as a reminder of failure. As proof of how close fear came to stealing everything we loved. She held the envelope for a long time before quietly placing it back. Neither of us needed to explain. Some objects tell their own stories. On our 16th wedding anniversary, held beneath warm sunshine in the small botanical garden where we had first met years earlier, Claire surprised me with a framed photograph. It wasn't our wedding picture. It was the old family photo album picture I had almost returned on the day our marriage nearly ended. Behind the frame she had written a single sentence: "The day truth saved our forever." I still read those words whenever life feels overwhelming. People often ask how our marriage survived such painful months. The answer surprises them. It wasn't because we never considered giving up. We absolutely did. It survived because, before the final goodbye, truth found its way into the light. Too many relationships end because silence becomes louder than love. Too many hearts assume the worst instead of asking one more question. Too many people carry unbearable burdens alone because they believe protecting someone means hiding from them. Love deserves better than assumptions. Forgiveness deserves a chance. Hope deserves one more conversation. If you're carrying something too heavy to face alone today, don't let fear convince you that silence is kindness. Sometimes the greatest act of love is allowing someone else to help carry what you were never meant to carry by yourself. Before this story ends, I'd love to hear from you. Please leave a meaningful comment sharing whether you believe honesty or forgiveness is the stronger foundation for a lasting relationship, and tell us what lesson touched your heart the most. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, leave a meaningful comment, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to our channel so you never miss another emotional journey. As Claire reached for my hand beneath the bright afternoon sun, I realized something I wish I had understood years earlier. The strongest marriages are not the ones that never face heartbreak. They are the ones where two imperfect people decide that even when fear whispers louder than love, they will keep choosing each other, telling the truth, extending grace, and believing that hope is always worth one more chance.